So you know deep down you have to leave this person. But because you've been with them for so long, it's hard to detach from that. Trust me, I know. I know, it's like been there. Lights, camera, action, nigga. Back with another lesson today. And today's lesson is going to be learning to let go.
Hey man, don't get too attached to things. Learn to let go.
Now, there's three things I want to talk about as to why you struggle to let go of things. The first one we're going to start off with is familiarity bias. Now, what is familiarity bias? It's a theory that your brain prefers what it already knows. Okay, something you're familiar with. Your brain tends to prefer to do stuff or to entertain stuff like that. Think about your ex, and we are all guilty of this. All of us. Let's say you break up with somebody and you're single, you're trying to mingle, it's not going well. So you're like, you know what? Let me just call my ex. Let me just get with my ex. We're all guilty of that. That's familiarity bias in a sense. You know that this is bad. You know this bad habit. You know what it does. You know what it feels like, right? You're familiar with this. You know what it's like. So your brain is like, oh, it can't be so bad. I'm used to this already. That's why people go back to exes. That's why people go back, relapse on old habits. A human's brain is wired to operate this way. Don't think you're crazy for doing this because everybody does it. I'm here to talk about it so we can try and be better, right? We can't be going back to our exes. We can't be going back to old habits. You have to understand that there is nothing about it that's good. Your brain is just telling you that it could be good because you're familiar with it. The second thing that relates to not letting go is dopamine memory. So we all know what dopamine is. It's that feeling of happiness, right? You accomplish something, something good happens in your life, you get dopamine. The things that you do in your life that produce dopamine, your brain remembers that. It's called dopamine memory. An ex habit, an ex partner, this is banked in your dopamine memory. The first time you have sex, when you have kids, the man that gives you your first child as a woman. These are things you're going to remember for the rest of your life. They're never going to leave you. It's an imprint on your life. That's why it's very hard for people when you've done things for so long to forget the good feeling of it. An ex situation that you were in. If you're in that relationship for a long period of time, you obviously have collected a lot of good moments with that person. So what does your brain do? When you're no longer with this person, you haven't seen them, you guys broke up, you guys go a few months, no talking, nothing, right? When you see them again, there are going to be dopamine memory responses firing in your brain. Essentially, the highlights of your relationship or the highlights of your habit that you're trying to get rid of. Let's say you're somebody who does drugs all the time. These drugs provide you with dopamine that you don't get from a lot of things. That's why you do them and you do them excessively. The reason why people relapse is because of that dopamine memory constantly firing in their brain. It's like, I need this dopamine. The only way I know how to get it is through drugs. The only way I know how to get this dopamine is through my ex. My ex knows how to treat me right. My ex knows what I like. My ex knows this. Forgetting that they're your ex for a reason. That's the thing. People override the fact that you do things for a reason, you break up with someone for a reason. Instead of moving forward in life, you're choosing to remember the highlights of your previous relationship and say, maybe I was crazy. Maybe I should try again. Maybe that's what that is. It's simply the brain working off of the dopamine that that person or that habit gave you. And your brain is telling you, oh, you know what? Do it. Do it. It's not that bad. Do it. You're craving that same dopamine hit. That's why people end up doing it. I ain't gonna sit here and play saint. I've been through this shit. You think, how bad can this be? How bad can it be if I dabble? Trust me, once your brain latches onto that dopamine that's been missing, you're going to really want to keep doing it even more. Which is what happens with a lot of relapses. Sometimes you end up doing it twice as much. It's like a slingshot effect. You stop doing something, okay, the cravings are starting to drop. You're doing well, you're doing good. And then something happens, a situation happens in your life, you relapse. Boom. Now your want to do it is gonna go up so much, bro. You're gonna want to do it all the fucking time. You're gonna it's gonna feel so much better because you've missed out. So now your brain has got to play sort of catch up to this bad habit or bad person. So you end up inciting it or entertaining it a lot more than you would. My final example I can give you, or my final theory for what happens in your brain is the sunk cost fallacy. You spend so much time doing something, why not continue to do it? Even if it's failing, even if it's not going well, you've done something for so long, or you've been with somebody for so long, why don't I just try and make it work? You've been with your partner for 5 years at this point, which is around the time at which people start to, get engaged, get this and that, right? especially around this age, right? I'm 24 years old. If I get with a girl today and we get together for 5 years, she's most likely going to be my wife, right? So you're with someone for that long and they start to, become toxic. They start to all of a sudden switch up. The relationship isn't going well. A lot of red flags you're starting to see. You know deep down that this person isn't for you. You've tried your hardest to insinuate some boundaries. You know what? Like, this is bothering me. I don't think this is good for the relationship. You know what I mean? I don't think this is going to work. And you guys try and work it out. Nothing works. So you know deep down you have to leave this person. This person is not for you. But because you've been with them for so long, it's hard to detach from that. Trust me, I know. I know it's like been there. Sometimes it's very hard to just detach from something that you've been doing for so long. That's the sunk cost fallacy. It's a facade your brain plays. You are so capable of doing it, but your brain doesn't want to do that because you're so used to it. These 3 points, they sort of build on each other because how familiar you are with this person, the dopamine that they provide you, what they have provided for you in certain moments of you guys' relationship. Oh, I have all this for this person, all these great memories, even though they are the minority of the memories. You have a few great memories, but mostly bad memories. That's why you guys broke up, right? Right. So you have so much good times, but the negative times outweigh the good times, right? So you guys break up, but your brain focuses on the good times. And because you're so familiar with them and because you've been with them for so long, your brain now tells you maybe you should try and work it out. Don't leave, don't detach yet. Let's try and work it out. You know what that's like? It's like pouring water in a bucket with a hole in it. That's what it's like. Or trying to drink out of a broken glass. Trying to fix a broken glass, there's always going to be cracks. The water is always going to leak. And eventually it's going to break again, even easier than it broke the first time, which is something I need people to understand as well. Guys, the second time around is always way, way less successful than the first time. A marriage fails the first time, it is highly, highly unlikely it's going to work out the second time. Matter of fact, it's even less likely for it to work out now that you're trying again for the second time. Statistics show this. The second divorce is way more likely than the first divorce was. So you have to understand that you going back, if anything, is just you're just doing yourself a disservice. If anything, you're making it even worse for yourself. Stuff like that just never works out. Guys, you have to understand that detachment is not, it doesn't mean you have a problem when you can easily detach from things. If anything, it's a strength that I myself did not have growing up. Matter of fact, this is a recent skill I've, started to really get the hang of, detaching from things, from people. You have to learn to detach from what doesn't matter. Don't be one of those people that wants to make justifications for getting back with your ex. Dude, there is so many people in this world waiting to meet you, waiting to make your life good, waiting to do whatever, waiting to just be a good person for you, waiting to take care of you. There's a lot of people out in this world that are willing to do that. You just are stuck within the constraints of where you live, right? Let's say you live in a certain state, a certain town. You're stuck to the constraints of that town. So you think, oh, I can't find anyone better. But that's a one-nightist mindset you don't want to have, right? You want to have a mind of abundance. You need to understand that just because this person isn't able to satisfy your needs, right? Doesn't mean 3, 4, 15 other people won't. Come on, you put in the work in yourself, you think they won't? Focus on becoming a better person yourself. And trust me, people that you need in life will find you. The energy that you need in your life, it will find you. But you have to go towards it. You have to push towards that direction. You cannot expect to find a good girl as a man when you're spending every weekend at the club. You're going to find outside girls. Those are the type of girls that you're going to attract because you're an outside nigga. You're going to attract outside girls. So you have to understand that you are who you attract. Learn to let go of things. Weak people hold on to things, right? Because it makes them feel better. You hold on to that bag of chips. You hold on to the McDonald's. You hold on to the pizza. You hold on to the toxic girl. You hold on to the toxic nigga. You hold on to the toxic friends. You hold on to the toxic habits because they make you feel less alone. Not necessarily because you miss it. You don't actually really want to entertain this bullshit. You don't. Don't lie to me and say you do. You don't. But it makes you feel less alone. Sometimes that's better than being alone. I get it. I understand. If I go ahead and, cook my little meal here, your brain is the only entity in this world that you can control. You have 100% control over your brain. How your brain operates, you have control over that. How you think, how you operate, you have control over it. Learn to let go of habits that do not benefit you. Learn to let go of people that don't benefit you, don't value you, don't respect you. Let go of those people. Don't attach to things because they feel good. Matter of fact, don't get attached to things, period. You must assume the form of water. Flow, boom, flow. Assume the flow of water, right? It's formless. It doesn't have a form. It can adapt to any environment it's in. You put water in a bottle, it takes the form of the bottle. You put water in a glass, it takes the form of the glass. You put water in the pan, it takes the form of the pan. That's how you should operate in your life. Learn to adapt and evolve to things. Don't be rigid. The more rigid you are, the easier you are to break, to crack. When you're like water, when you're flexible and you're able to adapt to any situation, it's very hard for people to understand you, for people to control you. And that's what you want. Money is also another thing that people tend to get too attached to, right? And there's a caveat to this because it's one thing to be too attached to money and it's one thing to not care about money at all. Do not be one of these two. Both are bad. You need to form a perfect balance. You need to understand that money is a tool. It's a necessary tool that everybody needs to have, but it should be kept as that. It should be used as a tool. You need money to pay your bills. You need money to pay your rent. You need money to take care of people. You need money to, to keep your health up. You need money for a lot of things. So money is important, but do not worship it. Do not look at your bank account and worship the digits. Understand that you have bills to pay and make the money needed and some more so that you can support your children, your kids, your family. You can support what you got going on, right? And unfortunately, in order to capitalize on a lot of opportunities in life, you need to have money. No. Money is never supposed to make you. You're supposed to be the one making the money, right? So anyways, guys, that's your lesson for today. New videos like this out every Monday. So you want to learn a thing or two? Every Monday, tune into my channel. There will be a video posted. There will be a new lesson posted. If you guys appreciate it, don't forget to leave a thumbs up, of course, right? Go ahead and sub to the channel as well. And yeah, I'll be seeing you guys for the next one.